Nations UN Habitat said we must build 1 million housing every year for the next 20 years to be able to meet this requirement. That means some of us will have passed away without a house, except the young ones. And it is something that everyone who earns a daily pay must have. You must have a roof over your head, whichever way. In Rwanda, as long as you're working, if you're a mechanic, you have a house that suits your income. If you are a professional, you have a house that suits your income that you can move into. They are gradually moving away from homelessness. But in Nigeria, particularly, we have this fundamental problem, and it is something that is, again, more prevalent in some other African countries, which we need to look at. And except you can solve your housing problem, then you cannot say you are on a path of economic growth. Over-dependent on imported materials. The statistics was carried out, and it was found out that only, and this is statistics which I have not put forward, only 20% at the maximum are the materials, local materials that are used in most African countries. The rest, 80%, are imported. If you depend on imported products, then you cannot quickly grow or fast-track your economic development. And so there must be a paradigm shift towards growing home materials. But this can only be done if there is collaboration and cooperation and there is government support. Procurement system is too diversified, too fragmented, and again, this does not help the industry to grow. Too many unskilled artisans. Quality of workmanship is bad. You can hardly see a straight wall. You can hardly see plastering that has that is not undulating, and this is getting worse and worse by the day. We must arrest it. There are too many professional fractionalization. There is the delineation of duty is still not properly defined, and for as long as there are people who are taking on other people's job, who are not taking, are not limiting their own skill to their own design expertise, we'll continue to have problem of growth in the industry. Like I said, in the causes of economic underdevelopment, big infrastructural deficits. We have bad roads, bad power supply, nothing works, and there's no growth within the country. Which is the way forward? The Madam President picked some of my thoughts, which I have always canvassed for over the time. And I said, in order to have a vibrant, forward-looking construction industry in Africa, and of course in Nigeria, that will meet the yearnings and aspirations and needs of African countries, there is a need to establish in all countries construction industry board. I have canvassed this with President Obasanjo many years ago, and he said, oh yes, we need it, but we cannot have it because I'm having issues with the house. He said, anything I take to the house, they will throw out because I do not know what I've done to them, not knowing that he was canvassing for third term, and so they were already fighting him on any legislative things he puts across. But this singular construction industry board or construction industry council can help to become, to all stakeholders in industry, a meeting point. It will warehouse the clients, the professional bodies, research organizations, contractors, specialists, manufacturers, subcontractors, even the client. And we will speak with one voice for the industry. The spread of its membership means that it will be the only single body to speak with authority on the multivarious issues connected with construction without being constrained by the self-interest of any particular sector of the industry. This will help to promote collaborating performance and knowledge sharing amongst its members in the overall interest of the built environment. It will be the veritable vehicle for the training of technicians, artisans, and to meet global standard and increase competitive edge. There is a graph which is not shown here, which organigram, which shows how this construction industry board can be warehoused. Britain did it, Malaysia did it. Today, Malaysia has surplus housing because they have been able to bring all their professionals together and all other stakeholders, and they speak with one voice. Where you are together, you can iron out all areas of differences, and you know that what must come out from that board is what will be good for the health of the industry. And the quantity surveying profession will benefit significantly if this is done. I've seen it worked in Britain, and I've seen it worked in Malaysia. South Africa too has that kind of joint working together. And that is the way out, so that within that board, everyone can put on the table where their skill, what skill they have, what training they have, and where those no-go areas for each and every one. For as long as we have different boards, we will forever be flexing our muscle, and the industry will continue to bleed and will never grow. So I will need, as an institution, maybe to champion this so that we can do that which I think is necessary towards the growth of the industry in the 21st century. The other vision which I want to share, again, which I've been speaking about for a long time, has to do with funding. Construction business is long-term business. Construction business cannot be executed with short-term commercial loan. The average length for commercial loan is 3 years. Interest is in double digits. There's no way you can build on the scale we need to build with the kind of financial instrument that exists in the country and in Africa. The funding agencies in the developed countries use single digits, and there's a long gestation period that is allowed so that you can complete the construction business. Because you won't build, if you are building a complex or highly sophisticated project, you will not finish it in 1 year, you will not finish it in 2 years. And if you don't have an instrument or a funding that can help you to stretch and get you to finish within the time that you will be able to finish and then recoup, then we cannot go too far. I've seen instances when commercial bank loans were used. I was involved in Goshen Beach in Victoria Island on the Lekki side. Projection was that we are going to do 500 housing units, private real estate, PPP. By the time we were completing 100, the interest rate on the money borrowed was such that that project had to be abandoned. So we could only achieve less than 20% of what we intended to do, because the short-term borrowing can never be suitable for what we need. And until we have this specialized bank, they have Bank of Industry, they have had agricultural bank. Government cannot do it. If they want to establish the bank, they will fail. And they've done one, they've done the second one, it has failed. It must be private sector driven, and then we can have flow of fund from outside to meet this industry. If the funding and finance is not worked out well, growth will be stultified and development will be limited. The modalities for this can be discussed at another forum, We are moving forward beyond saying Construction Development Bank. We've changed it to aid. And that means that maybe that could help to situate it away from Construction Development Bank, which the government is trying to suffocate. And of course, the commercial banks don't want it, but they cannot meet the needs of the industry. There's a capital base of 25 billion. 25 billion alone may just do one project. We need a large critical mass of fund, and this can only come through a specialized bank that is targeted to helping the country to grow. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, let me end this presentation with a famous quote by Lawrence Welk. To be granted some kind of usable talent and to be able to use it to the fullest extent of which we are capable, this to me is a kind of joy that is almost unequaled. That is, if you have a talent and you're able to use it, you have fulfillment in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what abilities we have, we must utilize them to the fullest. We must invest them wisely in our professions, our nations, and human beings, and we'll find them multiplying. It is an irrevocable law. What you sow, that you will also reap. Let us all strive to make our construction industry great and of global standard. Ideas will grow it. Hard work will implement it. I thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Can we please put our hands together once again for the president of CASU, Mr. Kiwes Sheikh Ajanlekoko. We are gradually coming to the end of this event, which is the opening ceremony. And at this point, it is proper to appreciate those who have been very patient with us throughout these proceedings. And for us as an institute, we are grateful. But someone else will come and do the vote of thanks, and I'll be calling on the Secretary for Professional Development and Library, QS Debo Uyinleye, to please step forward for the vote of thanks. Can we please appreciate him? Madam President, you are welcome. We will have the closing prayer after now, and then tea break we shall go for. Tea is ready, and we'll take tea after now. QS Debo, please. Thank you.
Madam President, please permit me to stand on already established protocol. We would like to appreciate every one of our invited guests that have graced this occasion. We want to appreciate all members of the Board of Trustees that are here, all our past presidents that have come here to grace this occasion. Want to especially also thank Honorable Wale Oken that has come to grace this occasion, and our invited foreign delegates, the representative of the AQS, that's the president, David Gaito, and then the representative of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors, that's Mr. Humphrey Amegadwe. We want to thank every other person here, members of the National Executive Council here present, all our fellows and all members. We appreciate your coming, and also everyone who is a member of this institute. We appreciate you for coming, and also our members that will be inducted tonight. We appreciate you for coming, and we thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the Secretary for Professional Development and Library for the Institute. QS Debo Oyinleye for that very incisive vote of thanks. We have in this hall some of our chairmen of state chapters here. Also with us are the members of the Executive Council who are with us in this very important event. And I'm going to just mention their names so that they can signify by a raise of their hands. We have the Secretary General of the Institute who is here. QS Mohamed Habato is here. Can we please give him a round of applause? We also have the Assistant General Secretary who is here. QS Rashid T. Badmos. Is he here? Thank you so much for coming. We have in this hall the Treasurer, QS Babatunde Adeshiyan is here. Thank you so much. You've seen Debo Oyinleye, who has been going up and down for this conference. We have the Secretary for International Affairs, who is with us. QS Gagariga Taidoye is here. Can we please give him a round of applause? Also with us are chairmen of chapters who are also part of the National Executive Council. And I'll start with the host chapter chairman. I'm talking about QS Osarenti Okoro, who is here. Thank you so much for your effort. We have the chairman of the flagship chapter. Flagship, is he here? QS, yes, QS Bamidele Mafimidiwo. Please, let's give him a round of applause. That's my chapter. We have the chairperson of waxing, who is there. Women are so powerful. It is not by any means a coincidence that we have a woman as the president of the institute. That is to the grace of waxing as well for their impact. Let us welcome QS Professor, and as a matter of fact, the first female professor of quantity surveying in Africa. Let us welcome QS Olubola Babalola. Is she here? Is she in the hall? I saw her this morning. She's around. You will see her much later in the day. We have the chairman of Kwara State Chapter, QS Egeruan Samuel. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have the chairman of Ebonyi. Sorry, the chairman of Gombe here, QS Mutala Salisu. Is he here? Please let's give him a round of applause. Also here in this hall is the chairman of Jigawa State Chapter. Is he here? QS Ahmad Isa. Is he here? Thank you so much for coming. We have chairman of Sokoto, Kebbi and Zamfara State, all together. My dear friend, QS Ahmed Malami. Please stand up for recognition. Thank you so much. We have the chairman of Ebonyi State Chapter, QS Indubisi Ogbona, who is here. Thank you so much. They are all part of the National Executive Council 2015-2017. We have the chairman of Enugu State Chapter, who is here, QS Nwochi Emmanuel. Is he in the hall? Thank you so much. And we have my chairman from Oyo State, QS Kayode Obiwale. Thank you so much, QS Obiwale. Also here is the chairman of Kogi State Chapter, QS John Agene. Is he here? Thank you. We have the chairman of Ogun State, who is here. To be unpardonable if I don't get his name. QS Awolesi Abiodun is here. Thank you. Also with us is the chairman of Borno Yobe State Chapter, QS Jadu Nubwa. Is he here? QS Nubwa. Okay. We also have the chairman of Cross River State, chairperson, QS Ekeni Nyang Ekanem. Ekanem, please. Thank you. And then we have the chairman of the Young QS Forum, Ahmed Kabiru. Is he here? Ahmed Kabiru, you must have seen him around, is also one of the members of the National Executive Council, as a way to encourage the young ones. At this point, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we go for the closing prayer, and I'll call on my friend von Sokoto, QS Hammer, to please come forward to give us the closing prayer, please. Can we please appreciate him as he steps forward? At this point, after the closing prayer, we will all disperse for the tea break, and please kindly be informed that Madam President will lead all our distinguished guests, all our people from Africa, the resource persons, and other distinguished guests to the top floor for their tea break. We have in this hall one of our foremost Secretary General of the Institute, who was also at one time the Secretary for Professional Development and Library. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my friend, QS Femi Balogun, who is in this hall. Thank you so much. After tea break, we will all come back, and then we have the parallels. We have the plenary session after the tea break. The closing prayer, please. Here's Ahmad.
Sallallahu Nabi al-Karim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Muhammad fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi inni as'aluka min khairin. Allahumma inni as'aluka min sharrin يا حي يا قيوم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة والنار ربنا إنك جامع الناس لا ريب فيه اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشافيا كل داعي برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين بجاه سيد الورى بجاه الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen.
Thank you so much. Amen. We have the other chairmen of chapters. Please pardon me if I cannot. 33 chapter chairmen. Please, names are all on page 13 of the program. They are all in this hall. We appreciate every one of you.